Before the video starts, I just want to quickly say that the lighting does change frequently throughout the whole entire video because I'm outside, so I apologize for that. And also, when I'm thinking, I usually like to doze off and like look everywhere except for the camera. So I hope that doesn't get too annoying, but anyways, I hope you enjoy the video. Hey everyone, it's Paulina. So Earth Day is coming up on Wednesday, and I wanted to do like a little makeup look in dedication of Earth Day. So I'm wearing my little shirt just to get in the spirit. If you know me, I'm a very big environmental person, so what better way to express my passion through like making a video about it. This video is going to be very interesting because I'm going to be eating, doing my makeup, and talking about ways you can help the environment. So how my passion came to me for the environment started off really young. I was always a nature girl. I even had a hippie phase where I literally just dressed like a hippie, whatever you want to consider that. I've always preferred to be outside. I love animals. The more I've grown up, the more passionate I've become. And I think part of that is thanks to my parents. My dad is very big on like nature documentaries, and my mom in general just loves like the outside. One of my many goals in life is to volunteer at least once at an animal sanctuary, wildlife, or pet shelters. I have the biggest soft spot for literally any animal that I see that is in trouble. So if you see me in a couple of years volunteering at some place, I'm gonna just be happy that I made it. And also another big goal of mine is to travel the world. And when I travel the world, all I see myself is being like outdoors, more of like landscapes and mountains rather than like being in cities and like downtown and all those places. And also for my birthday, I wanted to go to an elephant sanctuary. My birthday is on May 5th, so I don't think that's going to be happening. But I really hope in the future that I'd visit an elephant sanctuary. They're one of my favorite animals. I might get a little teensy bit of hate on this, but if you love animals, please do your research on zoos. I feel like zoos get bad representation on how they are. Not all zoos are bad. Like out of nowhere, it started to become like a trend to hate zoos. It can get very complicated when it comes to like seeing what is good or bad. Like circuses and some sanctuaries can be bad. Zoos are like non-profit organizations for animals in the wild, and if you go to the zoo also, it helps the animals that are already living there. And most of the time the animals that are in the zoos aren't capable of surviving in the wild. And there's other possibilities, like they get poached and killed. It's just complicated. And if you're very passionate about this topic, I would like to get informed about other things too. But I suggest you look into like your local zoo to see like what they do, and you decide. Most of the time, the people working there have good intentions for the animals. Like, why would you work there if you don't like animals? They're specialists, they're zoologists, they literally know how to take care of those animals. Of course, there's gonna be bad people, like they abuse them, they don't feed them well, their cage is all messed up. But it is really important to support zoos that have good intentions. It literally helps the animals. Why would you not want to help an animal? And yes, it is sad to see the animals in cages. Sometimes when you look at the little like description that they have, it says how they ended up there. But going to a zoo with good intentions will literally help the animals. I feel like I didn't explain myself very well in that last part, but basically what I meant was that obviously it sucks that wild animals are stuck in cages. We don't know what happens behind closed doors, and there will always be sketchy people and sketchy for-profit zoos that don't have good intentions. I'm not saying to go every single month, but donating money provides better care towards those animals since they are not able to survive in the wild and have no other option. But always do your research first. But moving on from zoos, places like a circus or any place that has animal performance might involve abuse. So all you gotta do your research. Most of the time, if it has wildlife animals, it is not natural for the animals to be acting like that, to be doing all these performances, doing things that they're not able to do. So try your best to stay out of carnivals and circuses that involve animal performances, especially wildlife like tigers, bears, all those things. Now let's talk about SeaWorld. Please don't sue me. I do not support SeaWorld whatsoever. It has animal performance. Most of the time, you hear about all these ocean animals dying early. They have a large lifespan but always end up dying 3 years into being in that tank. And that's because of the performances. It is literally not natural for a killer whale to be doing all those flips. But literally anything about animals, like the topic about animals, is so interesting to me. So please, if I'm not informed well enough, please let me know. And I would certainly like to change my mind about things. And I suggest you do your own research because it's interesting as well. And you get educated. This next topic I'm talking about is not a very popular one, like it's not really talked about. It's more like a touchy subject, which is having an exotic pet. In my opinion, if it's not illegal and you take good care of it, just like any other pet, it should be fine. I feel like it's very touchy because there's lots of people with lots of different interests, and you can't really take that away from them if it's not illegal. And they're gonna keep on doing it. If they're abusing them, it's just like having a dog. You shouldn't be allowed to have that animal. But if they're well taken care of and you think that they're happy, which it is hard to tell between like reptiles and all these different types of exotic birds. I have 2 parakeets myself, and they're considered exotic pets. Even when you do buy one, you're not allowed to release it. So there's not much you can do when you do get one. And it's not right if you kill them off either. Now let's talk about the biggest thing that everyone has a political debate about, is climate change. Do I believe in it? No, just kidding. Of course I believe in it. I took environmental science for 2 semesters. I took environmental science 1 and then 2. Literally the textbook explains it so well. I wish I still had it. It's literally science. If you still don't believe in it, I'm sorry. I say this in the nicest way possible. Please read into it. Like, do your research. It's literally there. And even if you don't believe in it, at least be skeptical about it. I know this won't change anyone's mind, but it certainly is an interesting topic to look into. The difference between global warming and climate change is that global warming means that it's mainly human-caused in the rise of Earth's average temperature. If at least 1 degree Celsius is higher, it can change ecosystems. And climate change means that due to the average temperature changing, it affects the weather, like flooding, earthquakes, tsunamis, all those things, and they happen for extended periods of time. For example, where I live, flooding usually has happened for forever, but since the average temperature is changing, flooding has gotten worse. Places have been flooded that have never flooded before, and natural disaster takes longer to go away. I literally did a presentation over climate change last semester for a class that I needed to do. I know so much about this topic, I can talk about it for ages. If I'm boring y'all, I'm sorry. I just get really passionate. I'm gonna quickly list some ways that we cause climate change. I'll try to find a good website that talks about how we do that. I'll link it down below. One of the biggest effects we have is through traveling and transportation, industrialization, livestock production, overfishing, and overproducing, like consumerism. Obviously pollution, we cause tons of that. It's very interesting when you do your own research because there's things that we're not aware of. When you do your own research, you kind of have an idea of what not to do or what you try to avoid. I think the easiest way you can start off is through electricity. Literally, if you leave a room, just turn off the lights or turn off the faucet. Recycle a bit more. Don't use as much plastic. Don't eat meat every single day. Small things like that. It's a small step, but it literally helps so much. And don't buy from big companies that produce too much CO2 emissions or pollution and just don't care about the environment. And literally the easiest thing you can do is share something on your Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or Twitter, whatever you use that social media for good. It doesn't even have to be the broad section of climate change or the environment. You can go small, like what animal are you passionate about? What endangered species do you like? Talk about that. Talk about plastic waste or water waste and all those things. Literally, there's so much things involved with the environment that help. Helping the environment helps you and your family. And don't beat yourself up if you've done a non-eco-friendly thing. You can learn from your mistakes. For example, I try to stop using plastic water bottles, and sometimes I'm in a rush, so I do sometimes take one, but for the most part, Hydro Flask, Arctic Cup literally helps. But I seriously love the topic on the environment. I'm hoping to do a series on it if people like it, because every day is Earth Day. So the last thing that I'm going to do for this makeup look is attempting to do a little earth on my cheek. Don't follow this tutorial because I'm not a professional whatsoever. I don't know how this is going to turn out and I'm kind of scared. So that is all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my little talk about the environment. I would love to do more if you're interested. And thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, a great Earth Day, a great everything. And bye!